We got to make at least one sassy video about this because the level of just retarded screeching from the anti-Israel crowd about all the posts that I've made in the last day or two is insane. And while their hearts are in the right place, and I generally agree with them on a lot of things, we really got to do a little crash course in reading English and in critical thinking. I'm talking about this video that I made about Trump talking about taking Gaza for the United States. Obviously, it was going to start flame wars, but oh boy, is it flamey. So let's clarify some things. And also, I'm going to share a perspective of a Palestinian here at the end, because for about 80 years, that has been the perspective that has been ignored. First off, Dr. Anastasia Maria Lupus's response, many others like this that are kind of insinuating that I'm controlled opposition or I must be paid by Mossad to post my opinions online because I'm not deboosted or banned from X when all the other anti-Israel accounts are. No, all the other anti-Israel accounts are not banned. Look around. My meteoric rise must just all be for the end goal of getting the US involved in Israel's wars. Right. That would be why in January I ratioed Elon to the tune of 18 million views and 258,000 likes, telling the entire world about how fucking awful Israel is and about their extensive history of war crimes and assassinations and all sorts of other fucked up shit. That is exactly the kind of thing that Mossad would pay people to do online. And everyone's questioning my meteoric rise as though it's like, oh, it must be because of this. It's like, yeah, I did have a meteoric rise, and I'm very, very grateful for that. And part of it was skill, and a lot of it was luck. But Maria, you might try actually making some content and see how it goes. Because I don't think I've ever seen any content from you. I've seen like 1 or 2 photos of your face that were like selfies with other people, but you just repost other people's content and write words. And others have speculated that maybe your account was banned because you were repeatedly reposting posts using the exact wording of other people's posts without crediting them. And I don't know about if that's true or not. I don't really give a shit. Whatever. You can repost my post with my exact words and not credit me. I couldn't care less. Okay, cheap shots over. That was just kind of fun. Let's talk about critical thinking. David Icke has been losing his mind over me for like a month now, and it's so entertaining. Out of respect for how long he's been in this game, and I mean, to be fair, I don't really know what his contributions are. I just know that he's been around for a long time. I try not to go too hard on him, except for when it's kind of fun. But this tweet is getting a lot of attention from a lot of different people, where I explore how, from the U.S. military's perspective, it is beneficial to have military bases in the Middle East. It is beneficial to have land in the Middle East where you can stage your military. No fucking shit. David and a whole bunch of other people apparently think that we're not allowed to think from other people's perspectives and consider how they see the world. Like, are we allowed to think about how the CIA sees the world, or does that make us CIA if we even consider it? And on the reading English part, there's a second paragraph there, not saying I endorse this reasoning, but from a businessman's perspective, i.e. Trump, plenty of economic and geopolitical gain in his worldview. And all of this is not to mention the like dozen times during the video where I said things like, I don't like this idea, I don't understand what's going on, I'm not sure this is real, I highly doubt this will work, etc. Before we get too deep into this, let's be clear. I am not optimistic. I am super concerned. Either that Trump is going to do a half-assed job of this and then Israel will swoop in and continue what they started, or that Trump is playing everybody and it's really just a play for his donors from Israel and it's actually just an Israel thing. But there are pieces of evidence of what's going on here that point to a bigger play that we should all at least be aware of. And I'm not going to waste any more time on it. You can rewatch the video for yourself. And I'll host a space later about the whole thing where we can discuss it in more depth because it requires a lot of depth. Because I want to get to a Palestinian perspective, because that's the perspective that matters here. And that's the perspective that everyone ignores all the fucking time. And I want to clarify that I knew when I made this video that this is the Palestinian perspective, the one I'm about to share. My video was about Trump's perspective and trying to weigh the pros and cons and what might he actually be doing and can we trust him to do it and all of that. But the Palestinian perspective arrived via email last night, and it was really touching. So here it is. I censored their name. Hi, Ian. You most likely won't read this, but felt that I needed to respond to your post where you consider Trump's response to Gaza as the best viable solution. First of all, I have appreciated your content for a while and have appreciated your demeanor. It's been quite refreshing. Having said that, I disagree with your idea that Trump's plan to control Gaza is the best option for many reasons. And to be clear, probably not the best option. I just don't necessarily see any better ones right now. Very open to discussion. One, we are one vote away from a Palestinian state. The U.S. keeps vetoing, so if President Trump actually cared about the Palestinians, he would vote in favor of a Palestinian state. Two, we can handle ourselves. Israel could not have lasted more than a couple of months in this war without the constant supply of ammunition from the U.S. So what we actually need is for the U.S. to stop sending weapons to Israel, stop granting Israel immunity. We can handle the rest. Right now, this imbalance has made the weakest and poorest countries of the world against the entire, it's behind the little timer thing, the entire U.S. empire. So actually, we need less U.S. involvement, more international law. Three, your opinion concerned me a little because it showed signs of white savior complex. I know it comes from a place of empathy, but the best thing for us is actually to be left alone to rebuild. Advocate for us, donate to us, but then let us rebuild and govern on our own. From a Palestinian perspective, the U.S. has been complicit and has done enough damage already. Plus, we have our own culture, our own history, our own aesthetic, and none of that fits Trump's plan. He sees Gaza as a real estate project. Gaza is all community-based networks, so Palestinians must rebuild their own homes and communities and neighborhoods. Completely agree. Trump's going to fuck everything up. Palestinians deserve much better. Totally agree. Overall, Ian, I know you have a big heart, and so I know it came from a place of caring and empathy, but I think the rest of the world really just wants the U.S. to focus on itself, including reckoning with its own history of land grabs and ethnic cleansing of Native Americans. We are so tired of U.S. intervention. The best thing for us is for the U.S. to back out and uphold international law. If you read this, thanks for listening. If not, oh well, at least I got my thoughts on paper. Thank you. Thank you for emailing me. Thank you for sharing your perspective. I hear you. I would imagine that that is probably how a lot, if not most, Palestinians feel right now. And I agree. In a perfect world, we should get Israelis out of Palestinian territory. We should go back to the 1963 borders, and Palestinians should be given their own space, their own state, where they are self-governing, not in an open-air prison, to rebuild in peace, govern themselves, and build their own culture, as was the plan, 70 years ago. My concern is this. Israel. The entire history of the Israeli state is subverting the Palestinians, propping up controlled opposition like Hamas, false flag attacks, starting conflicts, engaging in land grabs and subversion. They have the most advanced intelligence network in the world with the entire war machine of the Western Empire on their side, with a blackmail network expanding around the globe, targeting all of the most powerful people in the world, with a long history of creating conflicts, of false flagging, of manipulating the narrative and geopolitical events in order to get what they want. And what they want is your land. They do not want you to rebuild. They do not want you to have a culture. They do not want you to have a state or a space. And I worry, and I'm not necessarily right. I'm just saying that I worry, from my perspective, looking at the nature of Israel, that the Palestinians are not equipped to build a state with Israel trying to constantly destroy them. And although in a perfect world, the international community would hold Israel to account and keep them from doing anything, is that really going to happen? Genuinely, is that actually possible? Because rebuilding is going to take a decade or more. During that time, America's going to have another president or two. Are they going to be blackmailed? Are they going to be, I just think it's kind of wild that all the people that actually are red-pilled on how powerful Israel is, they're the ones that think that Israel is just going to let this happen. What have the last 80 years been? So anyways, to summarize, people kind of took that video to say that I am endorsing Trump's plan. No, I'm not. I am examining his plan and trying to figure out what the hell he's doing and weighing the pros and cons. And I have not made up my mind because I don't know what's happening, because I'm not that smart and neither are you. None of you guys know what's going on. I mean, when it really comes down to it, based upon what Trump was doing in his campaign, I was worried he was just going to give Gaza to Israel. And maybe he still will. I don't fucking know. But in summary, it's okay to think. It's okay to have ideas. That's how we figure things out, is by having discussions and debates. So we'll host a space. We'll have some flame wars. It'll be a ton of fun. Come hang out and call people names. It's going to be a blast.